Hello guys, my name is Julia G. Tsile. How would I describe myself? First of all, I am a daughter of the Almighty God, and I'm a sister, I'm a mother. I usually call myself a model's mom, a model mom. I own a modeling agency called Juice Promotions Model Management, which started operating in 2016. And I think that's how a lot of people know me. And I've been modeling for 17 years myself to date. I'm also an ethnic journalist. I have been working in Sri Lanka as a hotel manager, managing director for a hotel in Sri Lanka. I'm also a tourism consultant. So I work with models. I have my agency is quite different. I would say it's different from a lot of agencies around the world because I do what we call inclusion and representation of all types of groups and ethnic groups, whereby I travel around the country, Botswana, to scout models, especially young, beautiful girls with unique features from underprivileged backgrounds. We have models with disabilities, models who have certain disabilities. They are not disabled, they just have certain disabilities. We have models who are cancer survivors. I've got models with albinism. So I took this journey to pursue a different modeling agency, to have inclusion, like I said, because I've realized that the industry has perceived being a model as you have to have certain looks, you have to have a certain look, and that's what people call beautiful. And I tend to be stubborn about it and refuse to call a model to be a tall, skinny girl. We also have plus size models in the agency. So most of our models are models that cannot actually access your daily information of what a model has to be. And so I go around the country to groom and nurture these talents so that they can also have representation. So modeling for me is a calling. So I describe myself as a model's mom. And I'm also an African scout. I've got models not just in Botswana. I have models in South Sudan. I have models in Zambia, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Angola. Or how has the coronavirus affected my agency or the industry? This is quite an interesting question because, for me, funny enough, COVID-19 has been actually a blessing in disguise, in the sense that it's like I had to pause as a model agent and look around me. It's time to prepare. So I took this time as a time of preparation. So I had to sit down my models and discuss how we're going to build content, because for me this is preparation for the next season. We actually don't know how the industry is gonna go, the reconstruction of everything. So we took this time to build content and make meaningful connections, to work with photographers, to work with fashion designers that we feel can take our brand somewhere. So for me, this was a time to reflect and find ways to market ourselves in this new normal. So it has actually been a blessing. It's it's quite sad. Models are not working at the moment. They don't have shows. But I just took this in a positive way to prepare so that by the time the industry opens and borders open, then the models have got something to show. Then it will be easier for them to book jobs. Wow, how am I mentally? For me, this is like a roller coaster. I mean, some days I'm okay. Some days I fall off the wagon. And I just want to thank, a lady called Mother K. Masire, who's a mindful coach, because we did a virtual meeting with her discussing anxiety. And with her help and her services, I managed to learn how to control my emotions, being mindful of my thoughts, and get to understand how to deal with anxiety, because I'm one person that suffers from anxiety once in a while. And finally now I can actually use her skills to actually cope mentally. So I'm okay. I've been blessed. I can't really complain much because I take every day as it comes. And if I'm not okay, I accept that I'm not okay, and I find ways. We all have distractions. With COVID-19, it has affected us in a way that what we used to do, people used to go to gym, people used to go swimming, people used to go to bars, people used to find ways like do sports, and now we're all affected and we can't do those things. So I managed to come up with other things that interest me, hobbies that I've always wanted to pursue. I have a routine where I make myself busy. I always keep busy. I make sure that every day I wake up every day with a fresh start. I also use affirmation words. I affirm myself in a positive way. And I try so much to always reflect and pause and not take so much information, because we tend to be consumed by social media so much that sometimes you get lost and you find yourself just idling and being confused or having anxiety and having so much fear and worry of, where am I going to have financial injection, and there's just too much information on social media. Sometimes we just need to pause, reflect, and ignore everything that is going on, including politics. We're so consumed by these things, and that's what affects us mentally. Also, I gain strength from my family. I'm very now close to my family, and actually this is the first time I haven't traveled. I've been traveling for the past 5 years of my life, so this is the longest time I've ever been in Botswana. So I've taken this time to actually just accept where I am and look around me and see how I can live a purposeful life during these times, and I don't become too hard on myself. So being very close to my family and consistently communicating with my loved ones keep me sane. How do I apply my knowledge about mental health to my models? We have what is called, it's like a just doll prayer. It's not a cult or anything, but I advise my models to use affirmation words, like I've mentioned before. Things that I do for myself, I also apply with my models, because it's very, very important for models to take care of their mental health. And back in the days, like 3 years ago, I never really wanted to be involved in my models' personal lives. Modeling is a cutthroat industry, and the way I've trained the models, I didn't want to have that personal relationship with them, because the world of modeling is harsh already. So I just wanted to prepare them for where they're going. But now I have loosened up a little bit, and we speak on the daily with my models through our WhatsApp groups and other social media platforms to actually make sure and keep on tags on them, to know how they're doing. And we now developed that relationship. So I got to really understand things that I've always struggled with my other models, not understanding why she's not booking jobs, not understanding why I've given her all the skills but she's somehow still failing to get it. I now understand, because now they are able to express their feelings, they're able to talk about their issues, and they know that it's okay to not be okay. Like, if you need a break from the modeling industry, it's actually okay. I used to have a fit about this, but different backgrounds. COVID-19 has affected us all in different ways. Some financially, some emotionally. There are people with mental issues, and their conditions are worsening because of this crisis that we are in. So I try by all means to include mental health classes. Like what we've done now in the agency, like I said, we had a virtual meeting with Mother K. Tsile, which a lot of you guys you'll be seeing her, because we'll be continuing our virtual discussions, meetings about mental health and going in depth, because as a professional, then my models are able to grasp something that they've been dealing with internally and wouldn't know how to express it outwardly. And this has actually benefited them a lot. And yeah. What do I think of digital modeling? For the past 3 years, there has been what we call online domination. I mean, the fashion industry was an economic success, and there was a booming of online shopping until the pandemic obviously came. And I think digital modeling is a yes. We've got no choice, but there will be more e-commerce, of course, for a good impact. But then the companies will be more price conscious about doing big productions. Models used to book jobs where you do a production and a model is just modeling their hand, and maybe it's like an alcohol advert for 100,000. And with the digital modeling now, without a whole production, there's going to be a lot of cut prices. Like right now in New York, castings are done online through FaceTime. So you can imagine it's quite stressful for models who don't even have iPhones. Like everything now has gone digital. Designers are now doing fittings through Zoom, where they send their outfits to models' houses, and they actually direct the models through Zoom on how to fit their clothes. I've realized that as a model agent, I've realized that if one aggregates all their talents meaning models, aggregates their talents' digital reach, there'll probably be more than 1 million viewers if you use all your models' digital spaces like Instagram, your Snapchat, your Facebook, your Twitter. We then now use models' social medias to advertise their work, more like turning models into influencers. The clients and letting the clients use the talent's digital space for their content or media network. We have local brands now that are struggling to move their products and services. In this way, models' digital spaces can be used for such. How it works is the brands can send products to the models' homes, and they get someone to photograph them. Then they post their work on their social spaces, a digital space. Then we come up with an agreement for every purchase that was done through the model. So let's go digital. I think the world is going to change because people will understand that digital is here to stay. They will start looking for more digital solutions. Influencers have really taken a large piece of the pie and they achieve everything digitally. So why not? How can we be inclusive for someone who aspires to be a model but cannot have access to Wi-Fi? It's quite tricky, but I believe it takes every individual to help out and do what they can. I for one, like I've mentioned before, I travel through Botswana. I travel to rural areas, Bogumare, Shakawe, and I scout models. In that way, I scout models that I know that these kids don't even have Facebook. And it's quite difficult because then you have to teach the model what modeling is even. And, you start from grassroots level. So I think we all play a role as individuals, as the country, as people, especially people in the modeling industry. Whether you are a fashion designer, how are you going to mentor and train upcoming designers? So we all have a purpose to fill out and do the little that we can. Modeling is it's an expensive job. You need models. All models need to have Wi-Fi now. It's hard. It's a harsh world for them because they now have to have Wi-Fi. They need to have money to go to castings. They need to have money to pay photographers and makeup artists. So modeling for models has become a very expensive job now that it has gone digital. So this will be a disadvantage for those kids that are in the rural areas and they don't have access to anything. So we can all just play a role and do something for them. The pressures that models face. Wow. Ooh. Models face a lot of challenges. Just what we spoke about now, that we've got young girls and boys that they're from the rural areas, and there are kids that I've got models that before I signed them, they've never even been to the city. So it depends on, they've got challenges from their backgrounds. First of all, foremost, their backgrounds, how they grew up, and they're financially challenged. Most of the time, models are challenged because they can't afford to travel. They can't even afford to buy clothes. Models have to have proper clothes because as a brand, you always need to look presentable. So it's quite sad that you scout and sign these young girls, but then they can't keep up the brand. They can't keep up their look. A model has to look a certain way. Always. You need to have makeup. You need to be groomed. So grooming takes so much. So firstly, they are challenged by their backgrounds because the parents mostly cannot afford to keep up that lifestyle. And secondly, the Botswana industry is so small that We don't really get to have workflow. Models would do a fashion show, maybe 2 or 3 fashion shows in a year if they're lucky, but then that's just it. We don't have fashion magazines in Botswana that are constantly booking models. We don't have a lot of fashion campaigns, or just a lot of campaigns that use models, because right now in the country I've realized that companies have developed this relationship mostly with influencers, what we call influencers, or just celebrities or music artists. And it would really be nice if they could also include models to actually advertise their stuff. But most of the time models don't have a lot of work, so they are really challenged to raise money to even travel or build their portfolios. Another challenge is exploitation. I've realized that a lot of models in Botswana are being exploited, especially freelancers. Most of models here are freelancers, and even companies, government and private sectors, they don't actually believe in modeling agencies. I mean, it's quite ironic that we Juice Promotions Model Management has and it's still going to continue putting the Botswana flag on the map, but we still have organizations that don't believe in the agency or believe anything about modeling. So this is quite a struggle for models to actually pursue and continue working, because we get turned down so many times by companies. When a model goes for a casting and they realize that she belongs to an agency, they don't want to work with models, because there is a stereotype that modeling agencies actually are out there to chow the models' money, when we are actually grooming and we spend so much on these kids. And that's what companies don't see, that the product you see now, it took so much from the agent to actually groom and turn that rough diamond into a polished one. So models actually face a lot of challenges in that way. How do I wish for the local modeling industry to progress? On the positive side, of which there isn't a lot right now, there's always going to be a need for promotions and for advertising, being able to get your brand in the public eye. So the issue is, for modeling agencies, it has to do with all individuals that are part of what makes the advertisement. I think the model industry doesn't stand alone. It requires really talented photographers, editors, stylists, hair and makeup people who knows where they will be and whether they will remain working at the same level. In this way, as a collaborative, if we can all come together, because the industry of Botswana is so small. So we all need to make meaningful connections, find photographers, find fashion designers that really speak to your brand. We shouldn't, what I've realized in Botswana is that a lot of models or designers and makeup artists, we're all doing the same thing. And models just do photo shoots for the sake of doing photo shoots. I mean, there are good photographers out there and there are not so good photographers out there. And right now, models are just doing photo shoots to posting on social media. And I don't know what's the story behind it, but I believe you need to do photo shoots and do advertise stuff on social media that will make money for you. Like if you've got nothing to post, it's okay not to post, but don't just post everything so much that clients lose your mojo. Like, what is it that you want to put out there to your audience? So the modeling industry in Botswana has to be committed to actually build their brands together and as a collaborative, because so much of the world industry is affected by China and Italy. They are the two hardest hit countries for fashion and fashion designers and manufacturing. So the modeling agency, one thing I want to emphasize is, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand what a modeling agency is. So let me put it this way. So we are one piece in a chain of process. We are not in the first part of the chain, and we are not the last part of the chain. We are in the middle. We are completely dependent on how the rest of the reconstruction goes. So in this way, we depend on fashion designers, on photographers. We depend on what the companies want. So we're just a middleman, and it's quite a challenge. But I think working as a collaborative, this can actually help our very small industry to reach a certain level, especially now in this digital space. If we can get all our products, I don't care if you are selling pens or you are selling jam or you're selling burgers, use our models, put your products out there, use our models. In this way, we are able to achieve something in the industry, and we are moving. My care tips in relation to coping every day would be, first of all, guys, I drink water, drink a lot of water, and mind your business. Trust me, it actually works. Mind your business, I mean minding your own business. I mean, know how to surf and don't just take anything. Avoid negative energy. Take care of your mental health. And what I do is I make sure that I use affirmation words every day, and I stay in my lane. I use affirmation words to actually just help me cope, because if you are not going to be your own cheerleader, who's going to be your cheerleader? So you have to be your own hype. And I work out. This body that doesn't just come easy. I really work out every day. There's so many ways. I do yoga, I do meditation. I speak out when I need help. If I'm not coping, it's okay. Speak to people, talk to people that you trust. If you fall off the wagon, it's very easy to fall off the wagon. Sometimes you can be too excited and take too much information that is really going to affect your mental wellness. So it's very, very important for me to actually take care of my mental wellness, and I've managed to master not taking in too much information, like negative energy that come towards me. Yes, I work out, I meditate, I do yoga. If I'm angry, I sweat it out, guys. I just get on the treadmill or I run. There's so many online exercises that one can do, but most of the time, go easy on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. I take breaks just in life. Sometimes I wake up and feel like today I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna work. And make your no's a priority, because when you say no and not just say yes to everything that happens in your life, you're actually saving yourself and saving your being, which your mental being, your well-being is so important. As a model, it's very important to invest in your body. I take care of my skin. I watch what I eat. I can eat anything, but I make sure that I burn it out. I detox. I drink water. Yeah, I mind my own business. To someone who might be struggling right now during this COVID-19 crisis, I would say to you, know what to do if you are sick. Contact a health professional before you start any self-treatment for COVID-19. Let's follow protocols, guys. Take care of your emotional health. This will help you think clearly and react to the urgent need to protect yourself and your family. Take breaks. I'll repeat this. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news stories, including those social media. Hearing about a pandemic repeatedly can actually be upsetting. Take care of your body. Exercise. Movement actually helps strengthen your immune system. And whenever you have anxiety, feeling like, you've got worries and fear of you don't know where you're going to have your financial injection, take deep breaths. This is something that I've learned from Mother K. Masiri, the mindfulness coach. Please look her up on social media, on Facebook, if you want to book your sessions. You take deep breaths. You do this, you breathe in and breathe out 6 times slowly, and until whatever negative thoughts that are in your mind go. Because in this way, you actually get to ask yourself a few questions. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel anxious? Why do I have this anxiety? So once you can reflect what's bothering you, then it's easy to actually take it out of your mind until your thoughts are clear. Meditate, do yoga, eat healthy, and take care of your mental health. It's very important to also stay close to your family members or your loved ones, even if it's not family. Identify people that are close to you, that you trust, that you can be able to talk to. And actually having conversations like this actually helps. So if you know of any other virtual meetings that speak to you and what can help you through these difficult times, please engage in meaningful connections. Do activities that actually speak to your heart. My last words would be, go easy on yourself, guys. We are all in this crisis together, as the whole universe is experiencing the same thing. So it's time for us to reflect and just live a purposeful life. And I believe we should all start loving each other and be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your well-being. And let's stop hating each other, and let's not trying to compete against each other, because we are going through a crisis already. There's just so much that is happening around the world that we need to actually sit down, reflect, and know what we want to do in life. Take this time as a resting time to actually think things through. Reflect on what you've done before that you think you can do better now and going forward, because the change is here. COVID-19 is not going to go anywhere. We don't even know if the situation is going to get worse or what is going to happen. So love yourself, go easy on yourself, and show up whether you are afraid. Just show up, do what needs to be done, wake up every day and live a purposeful life. Pray, meditate, drink water. That's all.